कोलेस्ट्रॉल ये शब्द सुनते ही हमारे दिमाग में अक्सर बैड हेल्थ ऐसा ख्याल आता है, लेकिन क्या आपको पता है कि हर कोलेस्ट्रॉल या हर लिपिड हमारी सेहत के लिए हार्मफुल नहीं है। गुड कोलेस्ट्रॉल हमारी सेहत के लिए एसेंशियल है, लेकिन बैड कोलेस्ट्रॉल हमारी हेल्थ के लिए साइलेंट थ्रेट बन सकता है अगर उसको टाइम पे कंट्रोल नहीं किया गया तो। सो नमस्ते एंड वेलकम एवरीवन टू अनदर एपिसोड ऑफ बियॉन्ड द पिल वेयर हेल्थ मीट्स कन्वर्सेशन। आई एम योर होस्ट डॉक्टर चेतना एंड टुडे वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग good and bad side of lipids and how it interacts with your heart. So to make us understand this, joining us today is Dr. Saumitra Ray. He is a consultant interventional cardiologist practicing in Kolkata. So hello doctor.
Hi, good evening.
Welcome to our show, which is Beyond the Pill, and it's an absolute honor to sit with you. And how do you feel today?
It's my pleasure to sit with you and to accomplish a mission which is so nicely written over here that we are trying to spread the public health awareness, which goes a long way in the betterment of health of a nation, particularly a nation like India, where infrastructure is not so good and it should be distributed and allocated in a proper way. And here, even if it's more important in India like countries, that prevention is better than cure.
That's true.
Because prevention is so widespread and it's cheap, whereas curative therapies are expensive and not that effective.
That's what I mean. We are aiming into spreading the awareness that why not just prevent it,
Absolutely.
rather going to the treatment part of it,
Absolutely.
which really takes a huge toll on a
Absolutely.
normal
And from an
middle class
economic
person.
standpoint also,
normal
madam,
yeah, exactly.
that prevention means you leave certain things, certain expensive things like expensive foods, expensive
Right.
alcohol, expensive tobacco, and you're saving money. So it's a by way benefit you are getting.
That's right.
You are improving your health and you are saving money in your budget.
Yeah, I know. I mean, so there are very simple things to follow and keep yourself healthy so that you don't land up in a hospital,
Absolutely.
right? So today let's just aim on talking about healthy living, and I think एक कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट से बेटर कोई डॉक्टर नहीं है जो ये बता सके कि कैसे हेल्दी वे में अपनी लाइफ लीड कर सकते हैं. सो एम्फेसिस इज ऑन spreading the importance about healthy living, and why is it so important in today's generation specifically?
देखिए, there are a few things in life which you should follow, and there are enough evidence that if you follow certain things and control certain things, then your risk of heart attack is reduced by 90%. So
Right.
maybe 10 में एक heart attack होगा, 9 आप prevent कर सकते हो. So these factors are a few things like cholesterol and related factors. That is very most important rather. Second is smoking. Third is alcohol. Fourth is your body weight. Then your blood pressure, your diabetes, your stress and strain. So these are the few things if you can take control of. And not only at the middle or at the old life, but from the beginning, बचपन से होना चाहिए. जो inculcate you the good habits you inculcate as a child, that stays with you.
That's right.
It's very difficult to get rid of a bad habit which you have grown since your teenagers, and suddenly at the age of 40 you decide that I'll go for a healthy living. It is difficult.
Right.
So it's better to, and there comes the responsibility of the parents.
That's
so
true.
It is their responsibility to teach the child 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, 10 years to get the good habit so that it stays with them for a long time.
I understand. So how do you define healthy living?
Healthy living depends on a few things. Some are very gross, some are very subtle. Gross things are like we all know that physical activity. This is very, very important that you engage yourself on a regular basis on some physical activity, which can be walking, jogging, swimming, cycling, playing tennis, badminton, whatever, football, going out. Basically, you have to go out of your house.
Okay.
In today's society, the children are so bogged down with the studies and ambition, their career. Their parents are after them to score one more mark in the exam. And so they work day and night with their studies only. They don't see the daylight. They don't see the field.
Understanding, yeah.
Even in the middle life, then their ambition is different. They want to climb the ladder of the corporate. They want to earn a few more rupees, few more grants, and then they have to work extra hours.
That's true.
So that is again they're taking up their free time when they can go to the field, uh, take a stroke in the cricket or kick a football, something like that, you know. Rather, whatever time they accumulate for playing, there are indoor plays like
That's
computer
right. That's
games
right.
and
Yeah.
things like that. So this is the first and very important and very gross thing which we should address to. Next, if we see, the next thing is diet.
Yes.
We think a lot. मैं बहुत चर्चा करता हूँ this diet के लिए. Everybody asks, Dr. Saab, can I take the mustard oil? Can I take this oil? Can I take Vanaspati? Can I take this fish, this size fish or that size fish? I mean, there are enough questions, but when we answer, they don't take it back home. They
That's
go
true.
back to the kitchen with the same ingredient the next day.
Right.
So what we propose, that no food which is sold under the sun as a food is not poison. So
Oh,
you can't say that this food is poison, if I take I'll die.
right.
So you have to take, because that's sold as a poison. Rat poison, fish poison, whatever. You need poison also in life, no? But food you need to eat. So whatever is sold under the banner of food is not poisonous. But what you need to know, how much you are taking,
Yes.
whether you are taking a balance of them all.
Right.
So if you go to a mall, shopping mall, and go to the food court, and if you just stick to the cheese section and buy all the cheeses available and don't go to the fruit section, then that is bad. And if you just buy only the fruits and don't go to the cheese or the milk,
Understanding.
then
Yeah.
that is also bad. So you
Yes.
have to make a balance. So of them, we should talk about the healthy diet. The healthy diet actually comprises of fruits and vegetables of different colors, not just green. We should add a bit of orange, a bit of yellow, you know, so different kinds
Red,
of
green. Yeah.
different kinds of because all colors are actually types of vitamins.
True.
So you get all types of vitamins. Like say you take a red capsicum, yellow capsicum, green capsicum.
Yes. Yes.
These are all three different types of good food. So fruits and vegetables are very important. Next is nuts and legumes. So you take plenty of legumes. दाल होता है, राजमा हो सकता है, soybean हो सकता है, all these kinds of things, and little amount of poultry, which can be yogurt, which can be cheese, even a bit of butter, this kind of thing. Then the most important part and the bulk of the thing is grain. So here you have to be cautious about what type of grains or carbohydrates you are taking. And there we emphasize on whole grain.
Right.
So it's the atta rather than maida.
Yes.
So the brown rice rather than the white rice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
So
actually
more
recommended.
brownish things which are more crude, which contains
Understanding.
the husk. And
Understanding.
the husk is very important for your health.
Okay.
It keeps the cholesterol down.
Okay.
It keeps the bowel healthy. It keeps the obesity down, blood pressure down. So whole grain,
Understood.
not the refined grain.
Understood.
So whole grain, different types of leaves and vegetables, poultry, and if you are non-vegetarian, lean meat like chicken, like say seawater fish, saltwater fish. These are more healthy than sweetwater fish. And a bit of other variable things which you can take at leisures. So there you have gone to a party, you take something extra, but not as a routine part of your food.
Occasionally. Yeah.
And people very commonly ask what kind of oil we should use. And actually we should use 3 different types of oils depending on your taste and your cooking habit. One is the white oil. White oil means rice bran oil and linseed oil.
Okay.
These are white oil. Then there is yellow oil. That is sunflower oil,
Yes.
safflower oil.
Yeah.
And there is mustard oil. So mustard oil, you can say, no, mustard oil is not bad. It's actually very rich in certain fatty acids which are essential for your health. So you use mustard oil wherever it goes. You can't put mustard oil into your dal, into your
That's
pulses.
correct. Yes.
So you have to use different
Right,
oils.
huh.
But when you fry something, then perhaps mustard oil is a better option.
True.
So
Yeah.
you have to use those. Olive oil is very good, but I don't think in Indian taste it goes with the kind of food we make. If we give a lot of salads with dressing, then olive oil is
Is
good.
good, yeah.
But what we should avoid? We should avoid the Banaspati. We should avoid palm oil.
Palm oil,
You'll
okay.
be surprised to know, I actually discovered very recently that the bakery products, biscuits, you pick up any packet of biscuit from the shopping mall and you see it contains a red palm oil.
Really?
And red palm oil is dangerous for health. So we advocate to avoid the bakery product too much. Of course, you take occasional biscuits, but take the rice biscuits or that the oat
Understanding,
brand
yeah,
biscuit,
yeah.
this kind of thing, not the refined biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
So they got the palm oil. Then the cakes and puddings and pastries and patties from in the
That
shops.
it's for
They
sure,
contain a
yeah.
lot of Banaspati
Okay.
and dalda.
Okay,
The
okay.
dalda and Banaspati are full of saturated fat. So you ask what is saturated fat? Now fat may be saturated or maybe unsaturated.
Correct, yeah.
Unsaturated may be monounsaturated and polyunsaturated. We don't go into details.
Correct.
Only thing to know that saturated fat is bad, but we need it in certain food. It is there in certain food which you cannot avoid, and we have to take a little amount of saturated fat, but not too much.
But then the question which rises in me is that जो हमारी population है, I don't think we have lot of literate people, या जो अगर even if they are literate,
True,
इतना awareness
true,
नहीं है
true,
that they
true.
can understand
True.
कि कौन से food ingredient में which oil or which kind of substance is present. So how to help with it?
देखिए एक चीज है nowadays it is mandatory. Government ने
Correct.
mandatory कर दिया कि all food products should have the labeling
Understood, yeah.
of the calorie
Yes.
and the ingredient.
Yes, yes.
So with a little effort, थोड़ा कोशिश करके आप ढूंढ सकते हैं जो कौन कौन चीज में लेवल है.
Google.
No, Google. If you go to the shop, you go to take the packet. Of course, if you go for the raw things, then you do not know because in the gunny bags they don't keep any level. But if you take the packeted things, like if you take a packet of tilda basmati, say you take a tilda basmati or some basmati, you will get the whole nutritional direction or nutritional जो records होता है उधर leveling होता है.
जी.
In each 100 gram contains this much of calorie, this much of carbohydrate, this much of fat, everything will get levels. Of course, in fish meat, you don't have that.
Understood.
Then you can have Google, you can have some nutrition books. But generally speaking, as I said, lean fish, lean meat, they all contain around 20% of protein, very little carbohydrate, and fat is variable depending on what kind of fish or meat you are taking. It's better to take the extra meat out, the riwaji जो मांस होता है ना जो बोलता है जो fatty meat,
yes,
they become tasty.
Yes.
People go to some particular हाजी साहब का दुकान में उधर अच्छा
वही उठा के लेके आते हैं.
अच्छा मीट मिलता है क्योंकि वो fatty meat होता है. पूरा white meat white ऐसे होता है. Even if you buy that, you take that off,
yes,
you slice that off with your knife, and during cooking also you use minimum amount. Nowadays there are so many things. There are grills, there are ovens, and there is something new. You will know
air
better.
Fries.
Air fryer. You will know better. Yeah,
I'm using it.
So maybe some people are saying that the taste is a bit less.
But then there are people saying that don't use air fryers because उससे cancer होने के chances. I don't know now what is all that.
I was just discussing with some people that which is good. Smoking is good or cholesterol is good. It depends on how you want to die. If you want to die by cancer, then smoking is bad. If you want to die by heart attack, then cholesterol is bad. So there is no easy way. You might choose. When you go to somewhere, there's a tick. What is your preference? Veg, non-veg, fish, meat. So how do you want to die? Heart attack, cancer, stroke. So you can tick, and accordingly, the dietitian will put your diet chart. So these are all very not very clear cut.
I know.
But again, the thing comes at the end that balanced diet.
Understood. Yeah.
Balanced diet is which is called a Sushamo Khadya Talika.
All right.
So it's a balanced diet which all nutritions in a good proportion, depending on your choice, your availability, your culture, because it varies from Maratha to Bengal.
That's true.
The thing will vary. And I think regional language booklet should be there with some nutritional advice.
Yes.
Everywhere in local news or the magazines, weekly magazines, people read a lot. Maybe some TV channels can give some ads and those way of doing the diet bit.
That needs to be, and actually that's what we are doing, like really spreading the awareness of life, how why lifestyle modifications are important, and every disease that you see needs lifestyle modification,
Absolutely,
or
absolutely,
else the medicine cannot actually do it all alone.
Ac-
So,
absolutely.
you being a cardiologist, you tell me that what kind of patients do you see on a regular basis, and do they come with really high cholesterol, and are you able to treat them without the medication?
As a cardiologist, we see, of course, the patients who have already got some heart disease,
Okay.
but we see some patients who come for routine checkup,
Checkups, yeah.
who are more concerned about your health. डॉक्टर साहब मैंने रूटीन एनुअल चेक किया है, the corporate में
Yeah,
तो
हाँ,
होता ही है,
हाँ,
एनुअल
correct,
रूटीन
हाँ,
चेकअप
हाँ.
होता है. The- अभी तो मरीज नहीं हुआ, लेकिन whether they want, they have got certain things in their body which can create problem. So we see those things. Now the cholesterol problem is a bit peculiar in India compared to the Western
All
world.
right, yeah.
Perhaps a very lightly, if we go into it, there are two types of cholesterol basically. One is called the good cholesterol, that is the HDL,
Right.
high density
Yes,
lipoprotein,
yes.
and one is the LDL,
Hmm,
low density lipoprotein or bad cholesterol.
correct.
So if you ask me, some people ask, what is lipoprotein, what is cholesterol? Because when you are seeing the result, there is only one line total cholesterol. One others are HDL, LDL, VLDL, triglycerides.
Correct.
So where is cholesterol gone?
Yes.
So actually, cholesterol is everywhere. If you see, it is not LDL, it is LDLC, it is HDLC.
Yes.
So
Correct.
this C is cholesterol.
Yes.
So cholesterol is actually a molecule, a big molecule, which is carried in a package. It's like a courier system.
Yeah.
And this LDL and HDL are this courier system.
Correct.
LDL is generated in the liver and puts the cholesterol inside it and takes it to different organs, like a postman delivers the good into the
Yes.
different
Yes.
households. So it goes to the heart and deposits the cholesterol there. It goes to the brain, deposits the cholesterol there. It goes to the kidney, to the blood vessel in your arm, in your leg, and deposit the cholesterol there. And if you don't like the material, say coming from Myntra or Amazon, what do? You ask them to take it back.
Yes.
So you should actually ask your body to take back this cholesterol, because you don't want this cholesterol. It is an unnecessary delivery.
Okay.
You never ordered for that.
Okay.
So it has come unnecessarily.
The LDL one.
So the LDL,
Yes.
LDL deposited the cholesterol in
Huh.
your
Correct.
organs.
Understood.
So you now ask the HDL. So
Okay.
HDL comes as a return officer,
Okay.
and he will take the cholesterol back to the liver and destroy it.
Okay.
So you encourage the HDL, you call the HDL, please come and take my cholesterol out, and don't let the LDL cholesterol knocking at your door
Understood.
to who will deposit cholesterol into
Understood.
your
Understood.
organs.
This is the normal mechanism.
This is the normal mechanism.
Understood.
So when we see in the Western world, we see in the blood, the LDL is usually very high, and HDL is also generally very high. So there is a balance. In ours, mostly, if we say among the different types of abnormality, what is the commonest? We all have seen that low HDL is the commonest disease in our country, in our area.
Okay.
That means we do not produce enough carrying back mechanism of the cholesterol. So whatever cholesterol is deposited in our arteries, in our organs, they don't get any help to get back to the liver. Like as you were asking me why the HDL cholesterol is low in Indians. Actually, Indians are genetically predisposed to have low HDL cholesterol. We can't help it. We have acquired it from our ancestors. But what we are doing, we are not helping ourselves. We are actually deteriorating our condition by our habits. As for example, the most important thing by which you can increase your HDL is by doing physical activity and keeping your body weight under control.
That's true.
So whereas you see in a very simple example, day-to-day example, if you go to any corporate office or any shopping mall, you will see most people are pressing the switch of the lift, waiting for 15 minutes, gossiping among themselves, and just going to the first floor.
Understood. Yeah.
And whereas an average Caucasian, they actually climb very rapidly 3 to 4 floors. They never use lift, and if it's fifth floor or high, then they use lift. So that is, we are not helping ourselves. We can easily do this kind of exercise, एंड हम बोलते हैं क्या, मेरा पास तो टाइम नहीं है, कब एक्सरसाइज करूंगा डॉक्टर साहब, मेरा इतना काम है, इतना सो
Correct.
काम है तो काम का अंदर ही आप एक्सरसाइज
Exercise
कर
है,
सकते
right?
हैं,
That's true.
इधर से उधर जाके, इवन बाय सिंपल थिंग्स लाइक यू आर से इवन एट होम, you are watching television, you thought you need to go to the restroom, your tea is finished, you need to keep the cup in the basin, but you say okay, when there will be a break, then you will go up and do all the jobs together, and they will come back and sit again in the sofa.
With the mobile.
But you can do we can do the small things each
Right,
time,
right.
a few steps every time, by going and coming to the kitchen, by going and coming from the toilet. You can do these small things every time. So it is our habit to stay put in the sofa or in the bed, wherever we are there. Secondly, देखिए जो इधर होता है हमारा जेनेटिक्स और हमारा एक्सरसाइज, we are actually also putting ourselves in trouble, like the body weight. You know, the international standard is that if your BMI,
Yes.
body mass index, is more than 25, then you are overweight. Okay. For Indians, we have made ourselves more stringent. We say 23 and up, we are overweight. So almost everyone in this country is
Is
overweight,
overweight, yeah.
unless they are models.
Yes.
You see. So, but why did they tell it? Not out of whims, because it has been shown that the body BMI means what? Your body weight by your some kind of height ratio. There's
Understood,
some
yeah.
calculation. So this body weight is coming from, in an Indian, mostly from the fat, not from the muscle and bone.
Understood, yeah.
Whereas in a Caucasian, the proportion, the body composition of muscle and bone are much more than the fat. So our fat, particularly the abdominal fat,
It was more, yeah.
it is more. So if we allow your BMI to 24 or 25, that means you are accumulating more fat, not that you are making more muscles.
Right.
Or stronger muscles. So that is why our BMI, allowed BMI, has been brought down to 23. So if you do that, and there is some sea fish, if you take your HDL will go up.
Okay.
Like say pomfret, like say vetki, like say hilsha,
Okay.
and tuna, sardine. These are not so easily available. Tuna, sardine, mackerel, this kind of
Yes,
food,
yes.
which are fish oil, you know,
Yes.
the thing. They increase the HDL, number 2. And number 3, there's some nuts, like almond, like pecan nut. Yeah, if you take a few, 5, 6, 7 nuts a day, your HDL tends to go up.
Go up, okay.
So if you give your HDL a boost, then even with the bad LDL can't help much.
Okay.
Because how many times you are depositing the cholesterol in your organs, HDL is bringing that back.
All right. So, from what question I want to ask is that if I do my blood test, my lipid profile, so my LDL, my HDL will be same if it's
Now,
normal.
usually LDL is about 2 times more than HDL.
Even in
That
a
is
normal
in a
individual.
normal, that is a normal ratio. Yeah, there is a normal ratio, but sometimes it becomes 4:1.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you reduce the cholesterol too much with various medicine, the skin becomes aged and rough and wrinkled. So people lose the luster of the skin. So it's not all bad, but we have to say, as I said at the beginning, not everything is totally bad. So there is a mixture.
Understood, yeah.
So you have to see the right proportion. Without cholesterol, the people who are unfortunately born with no LDL cholesterol in their blood, called a beta lipoproteinemia, there is a condition, they die within age of 10.
Like,
they can't survive without LDL cholesterol.
okay.
So LDL cholesterol is needed, but with HDL support and not too high.
What I was asking is कि what could be the simple reasons of or maybe factors जिसके वजह से LDL बढ़ जाता है.
अच्छा देखिए, LDL बढ़ने का सबसे important cause है genetic. You own it from your father, mother, and ancestors. That is most important. Like triglyceride is another component of fat, which is very much related to diet. आप आज थोड़ा ज़्यादा खा लिया तो ट्राइग्लिसराइड ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, कल थोड़ा फास्टिंग करेगा तो ट्राइग्लिसराइड कम हो जाएगा. It fluctuates with diet, but LDL does not fluctuate so much with diet.
Okay.
So LDL 90% समझ लो is genetically determined. You can't help it.
Okay. Okay.
The 10%, 15% you can help with your proper diet choice and your exercise choice and your body weight choice. So proper diet choice क्या होता है? As I said, you take the unsaturated fats, which, as I said, in certain type of oils, and saturated fat as in certain types of banaspati dalda. And then also you hear certain terms called trans and cis fatty acid.
Yes.
So cis fatty acid is actually good for health.
Hmm.
And when you fry them, or you hydrogenate a fat, or you keep it on open air for a long time, it becomes oxygenated and it becomes trans.
Yes.
So, क्या होता है? If you go to the street food shops, they put the oil in the first early in the morning, and then keep on frying into them.
Yes, that becomes
1,000 times on
yes, it's
over the
not
whole
good.
day. And the more it goes on, frying and getting rancid and getting hydrogenated and fried, each time the oil is losing its quality. And instead of a good oil, it becomes a bad oil. So recurrent frying is not at all recommended.
That's what. So in our country, oil is so expensive. People don't have the jigger to throw it.
So even at home, even at house, we recommend that once you fry one thing, you don't have to waste the oil. You use the oil into cooking.
Okay.
You put it into dal or you cook it into sabji, something like that. But don't fry it again.
Okay.
Because second, third time frying will make it very bad quality.
That can also lead to
high cholesterol. High cholesterol.
Okay. Understood.
And certain kind of food like very much red meat or very much the heavy food होता है ना, biryani type of things, too much of ghee देता है उसमें. But ghee is not as such bad, and if you take too much again, 1 cup of ghee, then that is bad. One spoon is not bad. So that increases LDL. Now there is a huge controversy about egg.
Yeah, people say that egg yolk
egg yolk,
high cholesterol.
Egg yolk contains cholesterol and egg white contains protein. That's very good, because that's why those bodybuilders take 10, 11, 12 of whites only.
Yes.
So where do those yellows go? I don't know. I'd love to have them back.
Crow. Crow eats them.
So actually, the whole egg is the most wholesome food in the world.
Wow, yeah.
Nothing can be better than it, food value wise. Okay, it is so much a full nutrition diet.
That's correct, yeah.
Now, each average egg contains 13 gram of cholesterol. Now, if you see this 13 gram of cholesterol, if you take, very less is absorbed. Mostly it is gone out from the intestine. And when it is absorbed also, it gets changed and diluted in the total body pool of cholesterol. And when your dietary cholesterol increases, liver reduces its cholesterol production. So there is an auto switch.
Understood, yeah. So
and
liver
if you do not take cholesterol, liver will produce more cholesterol. So how will the liver know it is less or more? Because that is the genetically determined cholesterol level.
Understood, yeah.
So you are destined to have your LDL cholesterol, or total cholesterol, 150. So if your body gives 50, liver will produce 100.
Okay.
If your food gives 100, your liver produce 50.
Okay.
But maybe for some genetic reason, from your family background, your cholesterol is said to be 200. Then if you take 100 cholesterol in diet, then liver will not produce 50, but it will produce another 100.
Understood.
To get the 200. So ultimately, that value depends on your genetically determined value.
Okay.
But how much will come from diet and liver, you can't help much with diet, because your liver will compensate for that.
Understood. Yeah.
So you have to change the genetics. Now we are also trying to do that. We are trying to do the genetic changes in the liver so that the liver senses that no, this 200 is high for me, I should aim for 150. You see, so there are medicines coming into that. There are genetic mapping going into that.
But this is for people who are having really high cholesterol.
There are certain diseases called familial hypercholesterolemia, where cholesterol is 400, 500, like that. And they are usually people have got heart attack by the age of 20. They die by the age of 30. Before that, if they have children, then those children also may have this disease. Yeah.
So in this case, I don't, if the cholesterol goes up even more than the मतलब जितना भी लिमिट अगर है कि ठीक है दिस इज
सेट जो है
सेट भी नहीं उसके ऊपर इफ इट गोज टू सम लेवल दैट इज आल्सो ओके बट देन अगर इफ इट रियली गोज हाई तो उसके कुछ सिम्टम्स तो होते नहीं है राइट
सिम्टम्स नहीं डायरेक्टली नहीं होता है लाइक ब्लड प्रेशर कैन गिव सम हेडेक but high cholesterol doesn't give anything.
So how would a person know कि this is the warning sign and I have to get myself tested other than routine? Because there is a large number of population who doesn't do routine checkups.
True. So देखिए पहला है क्या आपका फैमिली हिस्ट्री इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Like for heart attack or anything, what I tell many people, look, we have identified 9, 10, 15, 20 risk factors. But what comes in one sperm or one ova, this is millions and billions of information and packages just with one
Correct.
micron things. Huh? So we haven't discovered 90% of what are we have come. So I also say sometimes jokingly, look, your father died at 40 with a heart attack. You are very happy that you have owned the bungalow, you have owned the limousine, you have owned everything, but you have owned that 40 years lifetime. So you won't enjoy
Right.
your limousine or your bungalow
I
at the age of 50.
I know.
So be careful.
Correct.
So whatever you are getting as a legacy is the most important ancestor. Some people will have the family history. Everybody is living at 100, 90, 100.
Yes.
And some people have got very early death in the family.
Right.
So that is the first warning sign. If you have got early death in the family by the age of 50s, in their 50s and early 60s, then you know that you are susceptible.
Yes.
Particularly if it is heart. If it is accident, that is different.
Correct. If it is heart attack.
Number two, certain very high cholesterol show up in the body. Like I say, what's happening? आपका आँखों में क्या हुआ? थोड़ा gray चक्कर लग रहा है. So there is some gray circle in your eye. When you stand in front of the mirror, you see क्या हो गया? थोड़ा arc लग रहा है, थोड़ा grayish ash color in your black of the eye. There is some ash thing. So that is cholesterol deposition. Then you see there is something happens over here. There are certain cholesterol deposits over here.
Okay.
Some people say it is due to you use glass and it could be the pressure. Maybe it's not always cholesterol, but you have to be careful if it is there. Some people have the swelling in the elbow or in the ankle. These are the gross cholesterol deposits which have got nowhere else to go. They deposit under the skin. So these are certain gross things. Sometimes you see even on your palm crease, which is generally gray, becomes yellowish. So the cholesterol is the orange yellow. So don't see.
I'm pink.
You're pink. So these are the subtle signs, but these are rare. These are rare. Most average cholesterol or little high cholesterol won't show up like this.
Understood.
So ultimately, it's another thing is important when you have got one other risk factor, like say you have got pressure,
stress,
you have got diabetes,
okay,
you have got stress, your body weight is high, you are smoking, you are a regular drinker, and these are the things when they are, then your chance of high cholesterol is high, and with the same level of cholesterol, you are more susceptible to have a heart attack than another person who has got just high cholesterol and none of these other factors. So if you have got any of these things, then you should go and check for your cholesterol.
Okay. Other than that, I mean, does cholesterol show any symptoms?
No, not really. It shows symptom when it causes the damage.
So what would be the age that a person should start screening for it?
Like say, I finish that. If it's a damage, what is the damage? Damage is first if it is deposits in the heart blood vessel, then you have got pain while walking.
Understood.
You get tired, you can't take the whole thing together. If it goes into your blood vessel to the brain, then you might have few attacks of a few seconds that you can't see or you can't talk.
Okay.
And you say, what happened? Or maybe it's a passing thing. Maybe I was tired
disoriented
today. Maybe I was tired today. Maybe I didn't sleep properly, so I had this kind of
So what
attack.
you called as blackout?
Blackouts, kind of thing, blackout, or suddenly your vision becomes hazy. You see two, and then within 5 seconds it goes off.
Scaring me.
So you're having
yeah.
you are stressed. You are traveling too much.
Yeah.
But again, having said, you should check your cholesterol.
I am going to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So these are the subtle things, like say your arm and your legs. You are walking 1 year ago. You are climbing 5 stairs. Now your legs are aching, like you have to take a rest after 2 stairs. So maybe your artery supplying the leg is getting cholesterol deposit and not giving enough blood to the muscle.
Yeah.
So these are subtle signs, but then already cholesterol is doing its damage. It's not because of cholesterol, but because of the damage it is doing, you are getting the symptoms. And there are, of course, the very dramatic symptoms like a heart attack, like a stroke, like your limb gets black and amputation. These are very dramatic situations with high cholesterol.
Yes. So that's what I'd asked, that by what age should people started screening so that they can prevent it?
American Heart Association very recently said you should start screening at the age of 10.
10?
10.
10-year old?
10-year-old.
Okay.
But it's too much for Indians, you know. So
Yeah.
if there is a strong family history, then we say it start screening at the age of 8 or 10. But otherwise, we are now trying to propagate from our societies, Cardiological Society of India and so on, that the first age of doing the cholesterol should be at the age of 18 or 20.
Every year, once?
Once at the age of 18 or 20, just not cholesterol, you do the whole lipid profile.
Yes.
There is a funny thing called LPA, which should be done as well. That is a part of lipid. You should check your blood pressure. You should check your sugar. These three. You should see your BMI, which you can calculate in your Google, in your app, and you see your smoking, your alcohol, and your stress level. So these are the few things you address at the age of 18 to 20 once you are entering the university. Then if it is all normal, then every 5 years till the age of 40, and then depending on your situation. If something abnormal is happening, then you better talk to your doctor. He might say annual checkup or biannual checkup, depending on your situation and how you are controlling itself by your lifestyle plus minus medicine.
Correct. So if a person comes to you with high cholesterol per se, so any individual who's having this cholesterol issue will eventually have a heart issue as well?
If you leave the cholesterol uncontrolled without check, then yes, eventually it will have heart disease. Very, very high incidence, almost 80-90%.
Okay. So very briefly, can you tell us how cholesterol is linked to heart diseases and how does it damage it? Because most of the people doesn't know. They just know that cholesterol बढ़ गया है, ठीक है, normal है, but they don't know how silently it is affecting your heart specifically.
What is happening is that heart, like all other organs, needs its own energy, because it's the most active organ in the body. It's pumping, say, around 70 to 80 times per minute, starting from before you are born. A fetus starts its heartbeat at 5 months, 6 months, so of pregnancy. So heart starts beating from then, from very early pregnancy. 6-7 weeks actually.
That's what I was
6-7
thinking,
weeks, not
that
months.
it's
So
not 6-7
and that
weeks.
time it is ticking at 150 to 200 like this. Tuk, 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 tuk,
Yes,
then once it is born, it is around 110, 120. Then with age, that gradually it settles down to around 70, 80, 60 to 100 is the range. So you can see how much energy it needs to continuously pumping without any rest. You can give rest to your muscles. Even the breathing sometimes stops during your sleep. For a few seconds you don't breathe. You can give rest to any other part of your body, but you can't give rest to your heart. So it needs enormous energy, means oxygen and glucose. These are the two energy things.
Understood.
It gives you energy. And how you get it? By, like any other organ, it gets its supply by the blood vessel. So there are conduits which take this oxygen and blood to muscle itself. And these are called coronary arteries. These special blood vessels are called coronary arteries. They originate from the heart and they end in the heart. It's a self-service kind of thing. So these coronary arteries are very susceptible to this cholesterol. When there is high cholesterol in the blood, they seep into the vessel wall. So there are 2-3 layers in the wall. Pehle you see there is a plaster, then there are bricks, then there is outer finishing. So actually this cholesterol first goes from the initial plaster thing and goes into the brick thing, that means the muscle part. So they stay between the the inner layer of the blood vessel and the middle layer of the blood vessel. That is the muscle. Between the muscle and this layer is called endothelium. So endothelium, there are some pores in the endothelium and the cholesterol goes into that through the pores.
Like between the bricks.
Like between these fenestrations. And then in that they accumulate. And when they become accumulated, they are very active material. They bring their allies. They bring their friends. Look, I have got a party over here. I've founded a house. Come and join the party. So that party is your inflammatory markers, your fibrogen, which causes inflammation, widespread inflammation. The thing become red and angry. then the fibrosis, the things proliferate and give some kind of straw-like things, which are fibrous thing. The whole thing becomes a bundle, and that bundle protrudes into the channel.
Okay.
And as the bundle protrudes, of course, your blood will have hampering to flow. And we call it 30% blockage, 40% blockage, 50% blockage, 80% blockage.
That way.
So how much of the lumen is occluded by that bundle of bad things? And once it is 70-80% blockage, with normal activity, with some strenuous activity, you will feel pain, because your heart is maybe getting oxygen and glucose at rest, but when you are exerting, your blood heart rate needs to go up a bit to supply the muscles. Your heart must beat a bit more forcefully, but it can't, because there is some limitation of blood flow.
Correct.
And then when it becomes, unfortunately, when you are run out of your luck, suddenly it becomes 100% blocked on one fine morning, and then you have got a heart attack, because there's no flow down the path. And that muscle is going to die unless you salvage that part immediately within first 4 to 6 hours. So that is why you see, and you will perhaps you have heard that heart attack, the time is muscle. So as soon as you have got heart attack, you immediately take him to the hospital, and if there is enough facility, either by injection facility or by catheter facility, if you can dissolve the clot, at least you establish some kind of pathway, then that muscle is salvaged for the time being, or बच जाता है उसके time के लिए, then you do the definitive treatment. And you give the full treatment to the patient. But once this part is dead, say after 12 to 24 hours, then even if you open up, it won't come back to your health. That muscle is a dead muscle. Then what happens? Heart becomes flabby. Instead of contracting like this, it will contract like fibble. There you have heard another figure called ejection fraction. 40%, 50%, 60%. Normally is above 55%. So if it goes down to 40%, 35%, that means it is working half strength. And that half strength work you have to perhaps carry on for the rest of your life, and you will be waterlogged, you will be tired, you will be fatigued, you will need oxygen, and that is simply called heart failure. The quality of life is gone. And it is called heart failure. So heart attack may lead to heart failure.
Understood.
So that's why the cholesterol seepage into these channels should be prevented. How can you do that? By reducing the blood cholesterol level drastically.
But then this is like a slow process.
It is a slow process. But that heart attack is a rapid process.
But then are there ways to stop cholesterol going to the heart?
Yes. The simple thing is that if you reduce the supply, in your body, reduce the cholesterol in your body. There are different types of medicines, tablets, injections. Unfortunately, some are very new things. They are absolutely fantastic, but they're very expensive. That's true. Like your 150 LDL cholesterol can come down to 30 by a simple injection given once a year. Can you believe this? But that costs about 1 lakh rupees.
Better stick to lifestyle changes.
Once they are more available, more acceptable, maybe insurance covered, we can use them. Meanwhile, there are tablets which are reasonable, not very cheap, but reasonable. And you can say 150 cholesterol can be reduced to 70, 75, good enough for most of us, 70, 75, and we can manage with that, along with the other lifestyle changes, as you say, and the diet.
So, there's a saying that men get more heart attack as compared to women because women trouble them. So it's not women, it's cholesterol which is troubling men. But the question is, why is it like that? कि men में ज़्यादा heart attack देखा गया है.
Look, there are two things. One is that women are naturally protected by estrogen.
Correct.
Estrogen is a good hormone.
Post-menopause?
Estrogen is a good hormone which saves you till you attain menopause from various diseases. Various stress-related diseases. But post-menopausal, it has been shown that women catch up, sometimes overshoot the main incidence of heart attack.
Yes, that's true.
So that is very, very important. The unfortunate part of countries, just not India, in America it is rampant. Not in UK, but in some parts of Europe it's rampant. Women are neglected. I mean, even if they had the same chance of heart attack, even if they do have the heart attack, their chance of going to the hospital and getting the best of the treatment available
That's correct.
is
That's
half,
correct.
less than half than what a man will achieve.
That's true.
So that is your, I mean, socio-economic thing. We as doctors can't help much on that, except in telling that be careful. What else can we do?
That's
It is a
correct.
mindset, you know.
And also stress, I think, has a major role to play.
Absolutely. Particularly, we have seen a lot of people from our neighboring countries, and particularly in the part of Kolkata, we see a lot of neighboring country, and the housewives in their 30s, 40s, they are having heart attacks because they are so oppressed. They cannot vent their need, their emotional need, their social need, they are constrained. Of course, it's a poor country, so family earning is less, and these people are really, really unfortunate that they can't really talk properly about their
Health.
health.
Actually,
When they talk, they exaggerate. They exaggerate to impress the doctor. That is, I mean, I feel they're appealing. They do something. I know I'm suffering, but nobody is listening to me.
That's correct. Yeah.
So that is, we feel very unfortunate, and we feel that ladies in these, even before menopause, they are quite susceptible to ischemic heart disease. And we Bengali people, also part of the same ethnic group, we are also susceptible to that. So you have to be careful about our women folk.
That's right. So, very recently, I met one of my relative who had an heart attack. So I told him that this is because of the alcohol. I mean, alcohol consumption on daily basis. So he's telling me, अब भी 3 महीने बोलता उल्टा अल्कोहल मैंने छोड़ दिया था. Still I got an heart attack. I was speechless. I was like, you need to rest.
Alcohol is a very interesting thing, you know. World Health Organization said a few years ago, till few years ago, that 3 drinks a day for a man and 2 drinks a day for a woman is the limit, beyond which it is good, it is bad for health, and below which it is actually perhaps good for health. So that was their declaration. Then over last few years they have changed it, that 2 drinks for man and 1 drink for lady a day. Now there is certain qualification. What is 1 drink? What is 2 drink?
Yes.
1 drink means 10 gram of alcohol. 10 gram. Now you just see the percentage in the bottle. If it is 40%, then 10 gram comes one thing. If it is 10% beer, then that is different. If it is 50% rum, your 10 grams different.
Understood. Yeah.
So 20 ml of rum contains 10 gram, 30 ml of whiskey contains 10 gram. So that's how we measure. When the bartender gives you the drink, if they give 1 shot means 10 gram.
Understood.
Now, secondly, you cannot accumulate the dues for the weekend. Yes, I haven't drunk for Monday to Friday. So I have accumulated 5 into 3, 15 unit. Now 3 and 3, 6. So 21 units, I'll take over 2 days. No.
Can't be smart.
No, cannot be that, because then the blood level goes very high,
Yes.
and you have got a sudden heart attack, sudden fluttering of the heart,
Yes.
sudden heart failure, sudden stroke, and so on. So if on a daily basis you take, maybe. But for Indians, it has been shown that Indian livers do not tolerate alcohol so much like the Western people.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So for India, we say alcohol is just like smoking. The damage starts from the first sip. Okay, so it's not that you don't take alcohol or don't smoke at all, but you see your limitation. You see it better to keep it in a social basis rather than on a day-to-day basis.
That's right.
There is some myth about red wine. The red wine is good, it's cardioprotective. There are a lot of research for and against. At the moment, it contains some oxidant and things like that. It reduces the fat absorption, so many good things. That's why you take red wine with cheese, because they reduce the absorption of one another. So, but nowadays it has been shown very lately that red wine is also as bad as any other alcohol.
Absolutely,
so it's better you keep your mind open, you keep abreast with the latest literature, and decide wisely.
And on the other hand, try burning your calories as well.
Yes, absolutely, because that gives a very uncounted for calorie. When you drink, you don't think you are taking anything serious.
Correct.
Not anything calorie. But the drink itself, as well as the things you are taking with the drinks, they are full of
True,
fat.
true.
Why they're full of fat? Because fat is given deliberately with drink so that the absorption is slow and you don't get drunk very quickly.
Quickly, yeah,
Your
right,
blood level doesn't rise.
right,
So you
right.
give the cheesy material,
Yes,
you give those things. But those are actually giving you the calorie at the end of the day.
right. It's just
So
increasing the
that
calorie
increasing the
anyway.
calorie and your body weight. So
And
that's bad.
the alcohol, this was alcohol. Now let's come to smoking. See, how much ever we do this, how much ever we spread awareness, people are not going to stop smoking.
Yeah, true.
But they really need to know that how dangerous is this for your heart health.
Yeah, you know that smoking is dangerous in a different way rather than alcohol. I'll tell you very interesting thoughts. Alcohol is very bad for heart attack, for stomach cancer, acidity, certain cancers, etc. But smoking damages everything in the body, from your hair quality to your skin to your taste bud to your lung, your heart, your cancer, everything, peptic ulcer, stomach ulcer, everything is caused by smoking. So smoking is really, really bad. Secondly, when you smoke, you are actually spreading the fume of the smoke to the environment.
Yeah,
So you are
that's true.
polluting the environment, and another person, your neighbor or your colleague, is getting and inhaling
Yes,
that
that's correct.
smoke.
That's
An
correct.
alcoholic is not doing that. He's not sharing his drink. He's rather
Right.
taking other people's drink to his own table. So in a way, he is doing a social job. But the smoker is doing a very unsocial job. He's killing himself, killing his family
That's
members,
right.
even the
That's
children.
right. That's right.
In the
Yeah.
household smoking, the children are suffering from their bad lungs from the beginning because the father is a chain
Correct.
smoker.
Correct.
Uh, about 20 years ago in India, there was a decrease in smoking incidence. And smoking was no longer looked as a smart thing to do in the college. Yeah, there was some notion that if you smoke and hold it in a very stylish way, then girls will be attracted like that. But that notion went. But now it is coming back again. And now the girls are smoking more.
Yeah.
Girls are smoking
I know.
more
Yeah.
in different styles, in
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
forms. And the e-cigarette is equally bad. So no point talking about e-cigarettes. Smokers somehow uh, get a few diseases less, but better not to mention because people will get encouraged.
Yeah. They'll look
But
at this part.
don't look part. So just don't mention that. Smoking is bad and better to get rid of smoking. And as I said at the beginning, that this smoking, alcohol, these are expensive things.
Yes.
So if you get rid of this, you are saving so much of money, which can be your lifesaver when you
That's
have a
true.
real heart
That's
attack,
true.
stroke, or
That's
dialysis.
true. Yeah.
So you are saving the money. You are not only preventing a heart attack, stroke, or dialysis,
You're doing good to
but
yourself.
even if it happens,
Yeah.
you are ready with your cash,
Correct.
with
That's
your
true.
finance to solve that
correct.
problem.
Right.
So it is a both way. It is very much beneficial.
So जो आपके पास patients आते हैं with the heart attack, what number of them are actually smokers and drinkers? Most of them?
Drinkers are not much in a much we see. Drinkers die mostly of liver disease and
But then most of them must be smokers, I'm sure.
tuberculosis. Yeah, smoking is rather common. Rather
Okay.
common. I won't say it is very common. I won't say it is more than 40-50%. But for heart attack, cholesterol is the most important factor.
That's right.
Yeah. For smoking, in the 3 blood vessels, there are areas of blood vessel. Smoking affects the leg blood vessels maximum. So if you have got a thin blood vessel in the leg called Buerger's disease, 100% are smokers.
Okay, understood.
If you have got a heart attack, almost 100% have got high cholesterol. If you have got a stroke, most of them have got high blood pressure. So different risk factor work differentially on different areas
Correct.
of the body.
So
but all are important in everywhere.
That's
But some
correct.
are more important than others.
That's right. So say if a person's father is having heart attack, so it's obvious that it's an hereditary thing.
Hereditary thing.
So for that person, what lifestyle modifications can he do?
Yes.
And
From the beginning,
Huh.
as I said, the outdoor living. So physical activity,
Right.
number one. Healthy diet, that's very important. Another thing I tell, from the childhood, there is a misconception or a mindset in our society that a very chubby child
Yeah.
with very, very,
Yeah.
these chicks, they are adored.
I personally don't like lean kids.
You see, so they are adored. they go to the children competition and they win the prize. Their mothers display them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one who is lean, the neighbors say, "Oh, your mother is not
Not
feeding
feeding.
you.
I know.
Yeah, she's going to office. She's neglecting you. Ah, poor boy." And that poor boy will last 100 years.
Yeah.
And the chubby boy will have diabetes at the age of 20, blood pressure 30, and heart attack at the age of 40.
Right.
So it is their mother determined thing. So at the beginning, so that is the mindset that the lean but healthy child is ideal, not a chubby child. Chubby
Active. Yeah.
child fundamentally is unhealthy.
Right.
So that starts from the beginning.
Right.
Then in the food habit, if you introduce them to the quick burgers, Maggie, pizza, chocolates, ice creams, then they are gone, because it's very difficult to come out of that. Instead of vegetables and salads and lean meat and fish and dairy and poultry and things like that, and whole grain thing, brown bread, etc. Third is in the teenage, they start experimenting with tobacco, with alcohol, and with drugs.
Yes.
So all the heart attacks by the age of 30, usually those are cannabis induced and drug induced. Or there is high cholesterol, family high cholesterol. So this drug, alcohol, tobacco, these are the teenage problems. So you must keep an eye. So once it is there, I have seen so many lives totally ruined. Sometimes they come back, rehabilitate, but
Quality
again
of
relapse.
life. Yeah.
So then at the age of 20, as I said, check a health checkup. You check your pressure, your sugar, your cholesterol, your body weight. You just see whether you are too much stressed or not, whether your ambitions are unrealistic or not. That is very, very important. Some parents inculcate in their mind that you are a genius. You must go climb to the top of the ladder and you must earn the university gold medal. Otherwise, your life is ruined, our lives are ruined.
That's true.
So you have to calculate the potential of your child, and I have to calculate my potential, and then you act realistically. Then you are a happy and complacent human being. Otherwise, you are perpetually frustrated and depressed that I couldn't achieve this. You are not supposed to achieve this. You are not made to achieve this.
Correct.
But if you go for, of course, you try to improve yourself, but not at the cost of your health and well-being.
True.
You see, so that comes the role of yoga and pranayama over there. If you start at any point of your time some relaxation technique, pursue some hobbies, take recreation, take vacation, spend time with your family more and more, go for cultural events, go for shopping and things like that, then your stress, you get rid of the stress.
Understood.
And that reduces many of these factors. Your pressure settles, your sugar settles, your cholesterol settles, your body weight is reduced. So you are a better human being.
And with this, regular screenings.
Regular screening.
And need regular checkups with your doctor.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
Lastly, a very important advice that you would like to give to the viewers.
Be responsible human being. You are born an Indian and you have got a huge responsibility to take India from good to better to best level in the world. And unless we have got a healthy nation, we really cannot achieve this. We first have to have a health so that you can perform best in the world compared to your other human beings in the world. So be a responsible Indian citizen.
So we will do a very interesting segment now.
Okay.
I'll mention few questions and then you have to answer them. So it can be like a rapid fire round.
Okay.
Understood?
Okay.
So can I start with the question?
Yeah, sure.
So first one is, one common myth about cholesterol you would like to burst.
I'd say that cholesterol is controllable. It is not an inevitable destiny, but you have to be proactive to control your cholesterol.
Okay, nice one. Next one is, good lipids or bad lipids? Which one gets more attention but less understanding?
Good lipids seems nice, sounds nice, but we don't understand the HDL cholesterol, which is good lipid. We really, even the scientists and doctors don't understand much about the good lipid. So, and there's not much of treatment for good lipid, so lifestyle. But we are more concerned about good lipid, but don't know much about it.
Right. The next one is, the one food you would always recommend for heart health.
That is fruits.
Okay.
Absolutely, fruit and vegetables.
Any specific fruits?
All kinds of fruit, you know.
All
but
colors.
All colors of fruit, color fruits, yeah.
Okay.
All types of.
So your plate needs to have all colors in it.
Yeah.
Next is one lifestyle change that has the biggest impact on lipid levels.
Physical activity. Leave your chair and your sofa cum bed and go to the field.
So from a couch
Couch potato to become a field
runner.
potato. Field
Full
potato.
potato. True. So next is one thing people always get wrong about fats.
People think that what is solid and what is white is actually fat. But actually fat is invisible. You
Yes.
can't see where is fat.
So even
is.
a lean person can have
Yes,
fats.
even the chicken skin, even the fish skin has got huge fat, which you can't see and can't imagine.
So one thing to avoid for better lipid control.
I'd say too much oil and alcohol.
Smoking also.
Smoking is not so much directly related to lipid, it is for blood pressure.
Okay. So we'll do it again. So one thing to avoid for better lipid control.
It's too much of oil and alcohol.
Okay. Last one. If you had to sum up lipid management in one word, what it would be? Wait.
Be aware.
Wait. I'll reread it.
Okay.
If you had to sum up lipid management in one word, what it would be?
Be aware that there is something, some villain in your body lurking that is lipid. So know it, know lipid, and then the half of the battle is won. Once you know that lipid is important, then you will find out your way to how to find it out and how to hunt it down and how to kill it. You will know yourself. But first thing is that you have to know that there is something called lipid in your body which is going to kill you.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
जैसे कि हमने देखा लिपिड्स की कहानी ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट नहीं है, वैसे ही बैलेंस और अवेयरनेस से ही आप अपने ओवरऑल वेलबींग को सुधार सकते हैं. सो इफ यू फाइंड आवर वीडियोस इन्फॉर्मेटिव, डोंट फॉरगेट टू सब्सक्राइब टू आवर चैनल एंड फॉलो अस ऑन Instagram at Mankind Specialities for more such videos on various health topics. Until then, stay informed, stay healthy.